Alright everybody, welcome to another Shock and Awe Toy Reviews 2, sometimes 3, but not tonight, idiots. A camera, a toy, and a review. With me, Mr. Berg, is...
Toast.
And we are reviewing, Mr. Toast,
Neca's Halloween 2 Mike Myers.
Boom! And not the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2.
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
My mistake.
It's alright. I forgive you. So does Mike. This is also the Halloween 2 that is no longer in continuity with the new Halloween 2, which is actually Halloween 2018, which is getting another sequel. Anyway.
Fun times.
Fun times. Here is Michael Myers from the second Halloween movie from 1980-something. He is your typical ultimate NECA figure, right? So it comes in the deluxe packaging and it has a ton of extra stuff. So the first thing you'll notice is the typical excellent sculpting by NECA. They do really, really good sculpting in the scale. It's their forte, one might say.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very obviously to anyone who's seen the first two Halloween movies that this is Michael Myers 2. How can one tell? Because this Michael Myers has a fatter, fuller face. And that is because the actor, Dick Warlock, is a much blockier, heavier guy than Nick Castle, I believe, who played Michael in the original Halloween. He wasn't available to film, so they got awesome stuntman actor Dick Warlock to play Michael Myers in the second one. In case you're ever wondering why he didn't look exactly the same or thought it was a different mask, it is the same mask. He's just a different guy in there, so it fills out differently on his face. And I think NECA did a great job with the portrait capturing the look of Michael from the second movie. And he has the usually great NECA paints job to go along with the sculpt. There's a wash over his whole uniform, his face, his hand, his hair, bring out a lot of those details.
You can even see the blood.
Another way to know that this is Michael Myers from part 2 is that he's got Sam Loomis's bullet holes in the front with paint, with blood, and the exit wounds with paint and blood. The neck wound for where Laurie stabs him in the neck with the knitting needle, I believe. I originally thought when I saw this guy was coming that they would just reuse the same body from the Michael Myers Halloween movie that just came out a few months ago. But no, they actually sculpted an all-new torso piece and put bullet holes in it, which I think is fucking awesome.
I just want to point out these elbows. So you were talking about the sculpt at this scale and how NECA is really good at it. These are double jointed elbows, but the joint is almost invisible because of all of these folds, and it looks phenomenal. Like you can get a full range out of it. And even the elbow on the lower side fills in as you flex the arm. But I mean it's a double joint in there, but from a distance you can't tell. It's just fabric folds.
Yeah, that was some innovation they came up with. I want to say 3 years ago. With the first time I noticed it was on the Ash from the Evil Dead TV show, because previously they had more like Hasbro elbows where it was just a single joint, and then they put the double joints in on wherever he works.
I'm going to be of no help in this video.
Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. You got that?
The S-Mart Ash from the TV show.
Oh, we're talking about Ash, not Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes, S-Mart.
S-Mart, but not from the movie, from the TV show. He works at a different place. Red Shirt Ash was the first time I remember seeing the human double jointed elbows that had the folds in them to mask the sculpt.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I love it. The naked arm guys still just have a single joint. And I don't know if you can see it so well, but his eyes are painted in there. Pretty neat effect. I don't know if they painted his eyes and then put the mask over or what, but I like it. Very well done, NECA. I even love the fact that there's like a little blood stain on his face just from battle damage. And speaking of those wonderful double joint elbows, he has all the typical 7-inch human NECA articulation. He has ball joint head that gets all those great Michael Myers kind of tilted the head, shark-like, scary as fuck. What the hell's he thinking? His arms can go 360 and out. Got the aforementioned double joint elbows. They're back to the ball peg or double ball peg wrists, which gets you enough movement. There they are. He has a upper torso joint. He has a waist joint, which are restricted from his jumpsuit, but they're there. He has the Neca hips, which are very soft ratcheted, which I don't remember being on other figures. They give you a little bit of swivel. He's got single jointed knees that don't get you quite 90. And then he has Wilson's favorite Marvel Legends / Fortnite style ankles, where the piece spins around inside the pant leg, so it turns all the way around, and then it can go up and down. It's a little restricted due to the pant leg, but you can get him in pretty good deep stances. Not that Michael Myers is known for going crazy kung fu fighting style. He usually just walks and stabs people, so he can get into pretty much any Michael Myers pose you need him to. So as far as accessories, he comes with
Heads.
spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, he gets shot in the eyes near the end of the movie, and blood starts pouring out of his eyes.
Same neck stab point.
Same neck stab point. Again, it's a great paint job. The blood coming out of the mask eyes looks exactly how I remembered in the movie. It looks great.
There's quite a bit of paint on here.
Yep, a few people have mentioned that his hair is lighter in the movie. I think it's just because it's lighted different. And then, for those of you who haven't seen either film, a character named Ben Tramer is mentioned in the first one. And in the second one, they think they see Michael Myers, and he causes a stir, and there's a car accident where he is this guy wearing a Michael Myers-esque mask with blonde hair is hit by a car and then exploded and set on fire. And that is the character of Ben Tramer, who's actually just trick-or-treating. But because Michael Myers has the police force and everyone on edge for killing people, they accidentally think it's him and they kill this poor guy. And so they gave you a Ben Tramer head, which I think is pretty cool. So you get another Michael head sculpt. These two little spikes are very well done, and if you actually watch the movie, his hair, like the two tufts of hair, actually are sticking out there. So I applaud Neca for going the extra mile to make his hair look right.
I think you can see it, but the eyes are painted underneath the mask on this one as well. It's really well done.
So technically what you should do is buy two so you can have your Ben Tramer, so you can actually have a victim for once. I applaud you, Neca. He comes with two left splayed hands, which are, again, painted very dirty, and I think they're the same sculpt that they've used on previous Michael Myers.
They're exceptionally well painted.
Yeah.
And then you can even see sculpted fingernails.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
He also has holding hand and weapon holding hand.
There is a second weapon holding right hand. Same style. Very well painted.
This one is holding the syringe that he stabs in. I believe he stabs the nurse. I think he stabs her in the head with the syringe, and then he stabs another guy in the eye. And it's neat because it's painted metal and then it's clear plastic up there, so it looks really well done for a syringe. And then in another scene, he kills somebody with a scalpel. Here's that scalpel. If you get it in his hand, it's a little bit loose until you get it in the right position, but then he holds it just fine.
All right, for something so small, there's a good amount of detail in this as well.
Oh yeah. And then he comes with the new kitchen knife that he steals at the beginning of Halloween 2 before he murders the nice lady.
There's a serrated edge on there.
And he can hold that like a champ. And I'm sorry I said that because someone else says that all the time. It drives me nuts. And he comes with a claw hammer?
Yeah.
A claw hammer that again uses to murder some wonderful people. And again, it's really well done. I have one complaint about it. Can you guess what that is?
Lack of paint or texture for the handle.
The top of it is missing paint for where it should be wood.
Oh.
And with the fact that they painted the syringe perfectly, I would think that they could put two little dabs of paint there.
True.
And the only reason I point that out is because I have my dad's hammer that is almost exactly like that style. And the one thing I'm always worried about is because it's wood on the top and there's just another piece of metal jammed in there to hold it. And I'm just worried that someday that piece of metal is going to come loose. And then I'll have to figure out how to fix a hammer that's like 70 years old.
Fair point.
If you've seen the box or the opening of the movie, it has a new pumpkin starting in it, and in the movie, as the movie opens and title cards and names, the pumpkin slowly opens up to reveal a skull in it, and it's super creepy and awesome, and I'm super glad they did it. The inside of it isn't as creepy as I'd want it to be, but I understand like they're not going to sculpt all the pumpkin stuff, the pumpkin guts.
I mean, there's a good amount of sculpt in there.
There is, but when it opens up, it's all hanging down and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm very happy with it. It looks great. It's got a great paint job on the pumpkin. There's enough of a black wash or wash on the skeleton face that I'm happy with it.
It's really well done.
So if you buy a bunch of Michael Myers, you can have a ton of pumpkins now.
So here we have for scale a Marvel Legends and McFarlane Toys 7-inch Fortnite guy. Marvel Legends is 6-inch. And you can see these are both supposed to be 7-inch scale. Michael Myers is at least half a head taller than Fortnite.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say, movie accurate?
It probably is movie accurate-ish. I think he's supposed to be around 6'5", a bigger dude, and he's certainly bigger than anyone he fights and kills in the first two films.
It's probably accurate.
I would say it's probably accurate, or as accurate as you're going to get, because you're never going to get teenagers to murder.
If only.
Someone should do a Kickstarter.
Yep.
And these guys look stupid together, but
That's true. One of them just looks stupid.
two of them kind of look stupid.
Well,
And just because I think it looks fucking cool, here's 1980s or early 1980 Michael Myers, and here's 2018 Michael Myers, who looks more like a ghost and is really, really bright white. That's what happens when you get old. You lose, skin color. You get all raggedy. Kung Fu pose. Michael Myers.
final thoughts. I'm ultimately going to give him, I think, 3 hammers. He is, as we've talked about with all of the accessories, exceptionally well painted. However, so I saw both of these guys for the first time tonight, and I vastly prefer the 2018 version. We've talked about, or at least I've talked about, paint versus color breakup before, and I'm more about color breakup necessarily than paint. This guy is very well painted. It's just the jumpsuit itself is so muted that it gets lost. There's a base coat, there's washes, I think there's some dry brushing on there as well. Like, it comes out really well in the hands. Anywhere that there's skin, it's just that there isn't much skin. So it's mostly just a muted jumpsuit that I don't think looks that well done. And he looks better, from what I can tell, on camera than in person. I just think that the 2018 version has a much better color breakup. Everything pops much more on him. But the accessories are exactly what you want. The articulation is somewhat hindered with a single jointed elbow and no waist, but you don't really need it for the character. For me, he gets knocked just by the paint.
I'm going to go ahead and give him a 4 out of 5, because my only knock is the little paint missing on the hammer, but that's kind of a silly, stupid Berg thing. I think he looks perfect for everything you'd want from the movie, or anything you'd want to look from the movie. I 100% agree with your muted colors, but had I not had this guy right next to him, I never probably would have noticed just how different they are.
Sure. I think even if I hadn't, I would have known, I just didn't quite like it that much.
Sure.
I think the muted, even without the comparison, I still would have felt that way.
I think the dull blue and the paint wash diffuses a lot of the light on him that would make some of the details pop, because doesn't have as dark a wash or as muted a wash, and the light picks up more of his detail. There's more of a chiaroscuro going on that you can see on him, just because of the different type of paint wash and color choice, color palette. if you want a Halloween 2 Michael Myers, he's perfect. I would say he'd be a good Halloween 1 Michael Myers, except for the fact that he has bullet holes. So I guess NECA has to release a new regular Michael Myers from the first one.
I'm sure they will.
And they should do it in a 2-pack with Loomis, much like they did back in the day.
I doubt that would happen.
I doubt that'll happen too. I give him 4 out of 5. You gave him 3 out of 5. That's still a good toy. I highly recommend him if you do not pick this guy up. And I recommend picking this guy up. They both go for around $25, $30 depending upon where you can find him. He just hit retail a week or so ago at this point of filming. It's a great figure. I really love what NECA's doing with their horror guys. I hope they keep going because I will keep giving them money. So that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the little notification bell. If you don't like anything about the video, please let us know in the comments, man. If you give us a thumbs down, let me know why.
Let us hear from you.
Because if you don't like something and we can fix it, we'll fix it. If you don't like my voice or Wilson's voice or Toast voice, I don't know how you can not like Toast voice. He's very velveted toned.
Oh boy.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or all that stuff in the show notes. And thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. And until next time.
That's it.